Structures at Saglemi Affordable Housing Unit project have started developing cracks after work stalled almost 2 years ago. Now, some 645 detached and semi-detached buildings after completion remain unoccupied.
It remains one of the many housing structures built with taxpayers' money left at the mercy of the weather. The $200 million parliamentary approved deal commenced in 2012, a major political campaign tool for the NDC at the time. Within the buildings, well-fitted rooms with upholstery ready for use. The 5,000-unit apartments are not in the best of shape.
It's unbelievable. There's so many things we can do. We can at least give it to people on mortgage basis so that they live in and they pay. The foreman at the site is saying that it is left with the sewage that they have to connect into. They have to connect the buildings into the main sewage tank. It is nothing.
Pipes left to rot, tiles at the mercy of the weather. The new buildings exposed, showing signs of danger. Of the 1,412 units under the first phase, more than 600 are fully completed and ready for use. The minority side of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing visiting the site in the Ningo Pram constituency says the facility cannot be left in its current state.
In view of the fact that the current housing deficit is estimated about 2 million housing units and growing, the minority demand the following. The government, through the Minister of Works and Housing, should go into immediate negotiation with contractor Michels OAS Construlos Ghana Limited to enable them to go back to site to complete the first phase of the project. All the ancillary works needed to enable the occupation of the 636 housing units completed so far should be done without further delay. Government should show proof of commitment as to the delivery of the 200,000 housing units earmarked for the regional capitals as contained in the 2019 budget estimate in order to reduce the national housing deficit.
Since work stalled, several workers have been laid off.
Yeah, roughly 1,500 workers.
What was the reason for laying them off?
Because the production is not coming on anymore. We stopped work since 2017 November.
Tell me about the chemicals that we see right in the background. You've not worked with them, you've not used them. What are the effects of these things not being used and left here, probably unattended to?
Yes, because it's a long time that we keep those things there. You can see yourself, the sun has taken over, and now we cannot use it anymore, I believe so, even though I'm not a technical man, but the expiry date are on them, so you cannot use it, because since we are not doing any bunching, the concrete, these are used for the concrete, so since we are not doing anything like that, there is nothing we can do.
Don't be deceived, they look beautiful from the outside, but nobody occupies them. These housing units have been completed but left unoccupied because the government has caused an investigation into it. Well, the demands of the minority is that the government should allow people to occupy it whilst the investigations continue. They believe the taxpayers' money has been wasted as long as the building remains unoccupied. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Saglemi.
All right, so we're going to stay a while longer on this story. Joining us for more on this development is Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Samuel Amega-Yibo. Thank you very much, sir, for your time, and thanks for joining us on Midday Live. You must be very worried about the situation.
Certainly, yes. I mean, money going down the drain, business opportunity lost, and all that. If you put all together, obviously, it's not the best situation we have at hand.
What should we be doing?
I think we should get the fundamentals right. Normally, before a housing project of this nature would have taken place, you would have sourced funding, know your source of funding for the project to its entirety, to its completion, and then also target those who are going to benefit. This too must work. And so this delay, this unfortunate situation where there's a new government in power, 2 years down the line, nothing has happened to it since the last government left. And then we hear there's investigation ongoing. People are also in need of accommodation. I don't see why they cannot work it out such that the beneficiaries of this project could take over whilst these legal issues are sorted
As
out.
Greda, what collaboration do you have with government with regards to the provision of affordable housing?
There's no discussion for a particular project at the moment. And if you may know, you realize that all the housing projects that are in the news are being done almost by foreign entities. Some of them may have a few local partners, but you realize that the local developers that we know, I mean, we have big names like the Regimanuels, the Def Tracos, Lakeside Estates, all these estates are there, but they are not doing anything for the government. And
to what extent
it's because we have not been engaged. You know, most of the engagement...
Was Greda engaged in the Saglemi project?
No, not at all. I mean, most of the time, we only get to know about this project that government has announced, that there's a project that is going to be taking 1,000 houses there, 2,000 houses there. And we have always said that accommodation for the people is not by execute and go approach. It is something that we are going to live with forever. Marriages are being contracted every day. That is the example I normally give. Children are being born, our normal population keeps increasing. And so housing for the people cannot be done through execute and go approach. We must have a scheme that identifies a target group, have an effective mortgage system that finances it, get banks to work with us to provide the construction finance, and also put in a system that will be self-revolving. We could be able to do a number of units of houses, say across the country, maybe 500 or 1,000 units in, let's say, every region. We should have a system where this thing can be done, put onto the market, sold out, investment recouped, and then there's more money, you know, to expand that arrangement. Then
we
as
always
we
hear
do
the
this,
term
we
affordable
build
housing,
capacity.
but in the long term, these houses are not that affordable.
Yeah, I wish that there's a government official here to explain what they mean themselves by affordable. Because if you look at the projects that have been executed by successive governments, if you do a simple calculation of the cost involved as to the number of units that are normally turned out from those projects, it's beyond what the local developers are doing that are not getting any support at all from government.
And the local developers can't do it.
We can't do it. What can't we do? The only difference between the local developers and these foreign developers that are normally contracted has always been financing of the project.
They are able to pre-finance.
Yes, and so if we cannot do the financing, what can we do? It's financial engineering. If we have financial gurus in this country, we have Bank of Ghana there with all the gurus in financial, you know, we have the private banks, we even have mortgage companies in this country, and you are telling me that all these institutions don't have people who can do financial engineering to raise capital to bring into the country for affordable financing? I don't think so. They are just not ready.
What's the way forward?
I think we should go back to the basics. We should engage properly. We should devoid ourselves from thinking that it is only foreign sources that can provide affordable housing for us, and do homegrown approach to it. And I'm sure it will be more sustainable than what we are seeing today.
Thank you very much, sir. Samuel Amegayibo is the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association. Join us to talk a bit more on the issue of the Saglemi housing project, which has been left abandoned for many years.